It was the 23rd century, mankind's darkest hour.
Heart rate and respiration nominal. Life support online. Initiating cryogenic freezing. Commencing pod lockdown.
For almost 100 years. We had been fighting for so long, no one could remember the reason why it all started in the first place. All we knew is that there were two sides, the Coalition and the Alliance. For decades, millions died for the same piece of rock, again and again. Finally, one side managed to gain the upper hand, the Coalition. Desperation, the Alliance launched 5 sleeper ships. The hope was for them to begin again, far from the war and strife that had befallen Earth, to start free from the prejudices that had divided us for so long. Each sleeper ship was christened after its patron nation. The Britannia, the Rhineland, the Hispania, the Kasari, the Liberty. Against all odds, the colony ships broke through the Coalition blockade and headed for the Sirius system. That was 800 years ago, when we came here to rebuild our lives. We've come a long way since then. We have grown, we have prospered, we have flourished. But we will never forget.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Random Gamer Riven and today I'm going to be taking you through Freelancer, looking about the first hour of what is perhaps one of the most underrated PC games that Microsoft have ever released. It was the sequel to Starlancer, however, as you just saw in that intro, those were really the only connections to Starlancer. Of course, Starlancer followed the battles between the Alliance and Coalition. This basically says, yeah, that was Starlancer, now this is Freelancer. Basically, that's literally the only connection about the fact that the colony ships left Earth and rebuilt their lives 800 years so later. So you're basically many, many years in the far-flung future over the original Starlancer. Now, Freelancer is a sort of open-world trader game much in the same vein as Elite was. However, it's a bit more complex and does a lot more nicer storytelling. Although there were still areas that it could improve in. It is a fantastic game, and that's why I want to actually sort of provide a bit of commentary, partly because there's going to be an awful lot of me flying around in deep space where not much is happening, and I felt it's probably a good idea for me to actually chat during those sections. So for those who don't know, this was released way back in 2003. and it was developed by Digital Anvil. The designer behind it was actually Chris Roberts, who, as we now know, was making Star Citizen, but I'm not going to comment on Star Citizen. All I'm going to say is this is basically what Star Citizen is, and they actually finished this and got it released. And kudos to Digital Anvil, this was a very, very good game. Apparently there was a sequel in the works as well from some early prototype builds, and it was going to be released on the 360, which would have been quite, well, the Xbox 360, which would have been quite an interesting thing to play. I'd quite like to have played this. Sadly, it was cancelled when Digital Anvil got shut down. Sadly, this didn't get an Xbox One port as well, and I really wish it had got ported to the Xbox One. So that was probably one of my biggest disappointments with it, the fact that this never got a console port. And as a result, it's never been updated either. So basically, you can still only really play it via the original CD version. There hasn't been a digital re-release, despite the fact it is an absolutely fantastic game. Now, there are a few caveats, and just before I begin, I should let you know I'm actually playing on a slightly modded version of the game. I've had to deal with an install issue where basically the Seki-ROM no longer works on Windows 7. It installs okay for me, but when trying to play it, once I patched it, trying to play it using the standard security just does not work because there's actually an issue. So there's a great website called PC Gaming Wiki that provides all the information on how to sort of get this running on modern machines, and I've included a link to that in the description. The other thing I've done is this was a game that was released, it wasn't widescreen, it was only 4:3. It was one of those games that was sort of should have been widescreen. It was sort of on the cusp of when widescreen was becoming standard but wasn't. So that's another point. Now, without further ado, I'm going to start. But just before I do, I've got the manual here in my hand. And one of the things that the opening start of the story isn't actually that clear what's going on. But basically, the manual itself is very nicely presented. It's done as a document for the Liberty Security Forces that's been given to the main character Trent by his friend Richard, and basically there's basically like details. It's like security manual, the various controls, everything's absolutely wonderful. But I'm just going to read you the beginning part where Richard's basically written a message to Trent, which actually gives you a brief bit of background on Trent's history. So, Trent, leaving Bretonia to make your fortune in space, are you? All I can say is keep your head on. There's a lot of grotty butchers out there who started just like you, honest folk looking for their place among the stars, and I don't simply mean the criminal elements either. The rebels and the governments are almost as corrupt as the thugs out there. Study the Liberty Combat Manual. I got it from a junker at the Jersey debris fields off Manhattan. It's a few years old, and the LSF isn't exactly forthcoming about certain information, but I filled in the blanks where I could. You'll undoubtedly find the thing quite illuminating, and it might just save you from becoming another interstellar vapor trail. Staying put in Leeds, Richard W. Tobias. Now, as with the original ships, all the locations in this and all the planets are named after cities from modern day Earth. And you'll find that they're named after Hispanic cities, American cities, Japanese cities, English cities only, because basically the coalition that won the war was made up of sort of Russians, the Chinese and various other fractions. Now, without further ado, having given you that brief introduction, it's a beautiful manual. It's actually full colour, and it's even got sort of notes from Trent, where he sort of notes from Richard to Trent about various things. Now, before I begin, I should just make it clear that Trent, at the very start, although you don't realise in this intro, has wound up on Freeport 7, where he's basically trying to do some trading business, and as he's about to discover, he chose to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Roger that. All systems show green. SA-14, you're cleared for departure.
Acknowledge, Freeport 7. We'll see you in about 2 weeks.
SA-14, we're picking up unknown contacts on long-range sensors. We're dispatching a fighter wing to escort you out of the system. Godspeed.
Navy Command, this is Freeport 7. We're picking up some strange readings on the long-range sensors.
Unknown ships have breached the defense perimeter. Man all stations!
President Jacoby has asked the LSF to investigate the sudden destruction of Freeport 7. No word yet on whether it was accidental or a deliberate attack. The first handful of survivors arrived on Manhattan this morning.
We're here for medical. Is there anyone seriously injured?
One. Inside. Make sure he lives. He owes me some credits.
Your concern is touching. We'll do everything we can. It may take a while.
Officially, the Liberty Security Force maintains there is no proof Freeport 7's destruction was deliberate, but sources inside the LSF say they suspect the dangerous criminal organization, the Order. We will keep you up to date as the story develops.
And yes, that is the opening intro for Freelancer. And as I'll say with any good story, all is not as it seems. There is an absolute ton of twists and turns till you reach the end in this one. So I'm just going to show you the sort of basic story missions and probably do a few merc missions sort of travelling around. As I said, there's so much to do in this game. The one thing I will say, although the game's supposed to be like Elite with a 3 roaming thing, a lot of the actual structure of the game is kind of curtailed by the story progress. And if you follow the story, there are bits where you can't go to certain solar systems, bits where you can access other ones, bits where your fraction rep is deliberately put one way or another, which kind of conflicts a bit with the sort of 3 roaming element. Really, it's not until you completely finish the game and have got all the star map unlocked that you can go absolutely exploring everywhere and sort of choose to live or play the game how you want. Up until that point, there are bits where the story pushes you one direction or pulls you in another. So some people may not like that, but I always really enjoyed this. I should say this is a big story campaign as well. So you can see there we ain't got many options at the minute. Basically look for a job. And not much else. You can also visit the ship dealers and all sorts. So you can buy ships. I believe I do not have enough cash at the very start. You're basically shoehorned into... yeah, so credit's 500, so we won't be buying any ships to start with, and we're basically going to be shoehorned into going into the bar, which is where I'm going to head. There's equipment, commodities, you can go to the launch pad, but there's no more point. Let's go to the bar and let the story continue.
Sidewinder Fang.
All we have is Liberty Ale, friend.
Fine.
Her name's Junko Zane. She's a tough one.
Oh, why's that?
She's LSF. All business. If it's a job you're wanting, that is. On the other hand, if you're looking for something more...
Well, the only thing I'm looking for right now is this drink.
I know you.
No, I don't think so.
The news. I saw your face on the news. You're one of the Freeport 7 survivors, aren't you?
Yeah.
I heard it was pretty bad out there. You know, you're lucky to be alive.
Ha.
This one's on me, friend. It's the good stuff.
Why?
Because it's not every day a man has the chance to start again, huh? To your good fortune and liberty, sir.
Well, it can't get any worse. Thanks.
So yes, we are Edison Trent, and as you can see there, at the minute you get to select chat to people. At the minute, as we can't buy much or even go, I think because we don't have a ship, we need to actually follow the story campaign. This is what I mean by the game is slightly restrictive of which way you go at the start, because you can't do certain things until you followed the story certain way. So I'm just going to jump straight into chatting to a few people, see what they say, and then I'm going to talk to the main.
Hello, may I help you with something?
What do you have for me?
It's your first time here, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
I see. I work for the Liberty Security Force. We may not own this place, but we do have a sizable stake in its operation. Well, if you must know, I have heard a rumor.
Well, yes, I'm interested.
Fine. This is what I heard.
So yeah, you will get a lot of sort of introductory text, and then they'll show you a text screen because, of course, they couldn't record all the dialogue for every sort of rumour and tidbit of information. Although the voices do sound a bit generic for when they say, hey, this is the rumour I've heard, and you do get a bit sick of hearing the same dialogue towards the end of the game. And you will hear it over again and again. Plus, it's a little bit stilted with how they pronounce some of this dialogue. I think it was sort of the way the game was putting it together was a little bit odd for some of these sequences. The cutscenes just sort of flow really well, but some of these ones where they're sort of pre-generated text doesn't flow as well as it could do.
Could be useful later. Thank you.
That's great. Good luck.
Hello. What can I do for you?
Hey, what you got?
Never seen you here before. You new?
Uh-huh.
Oh, well, I work for Border World Exports. We don't really run this place, but we have an understanding with the people who do. You know, your rep could use a little fixing, for a small fee.
All right, I'm listening.
Yes, so you can basically, your rep is quite an important factor in this game, and as you can see here, you can actually we can basically bribe this guy to improve our rep with the various fractions. But of course I have nowhere near as much money as I'd like to the minute, so I'll decline this offer. But yeah, you will find that you can only visit certain spaceports if you are in the right rep. So if you've got good rep with pirates, you can visit pirate space forces, but then you won't be able to visit many planets. If you've got good rep with sort of planets and bounty hunters and sort of the Federation forces and all the planetary security, you'll find the pirates don't want anything to do with you.
All right.
Uh-oh, I can see you're a little short of credits. Perhaps we can do this again later.
I must admit, this widescreen patch, it doesn't actually change any of the HUD, it's just adding in the visuals to the left and right, and it does look really nice in widescreen. I was surprised how good this looks. It's, as I said, this was one of those games that felt that it should have been in widescreen when it actually released. So I'm going to talk to Juko Zane and let the story roll on, and we'll basically have to do a story progression mission, so I'll play that through and then do a bit of sort of freelancing, so to speak, once we've actually got through the story missions.
I understand what you're saying, but I don't have nearly enough people.
Juny, the environment has changed. Well, with groups like the Order taking more and more liberties, indeed now threatening our profits, some in the government feel that we need to increase our patrols in these areas.
You, Junko Zane?
Yes?
I believe you have business to discuss.
Wait!
I will leave this matter in your capable hands.
Sorry. The bartender said you work for the Liberty Security Force.
And who do you work for, Mr.
Trent. I work for myself.
What kind of ship do you have?
I lost mine. On Freeport 7.
I see. Are you staying in Liberty long?
I've got a friend who was injured in the attack. He's in medical. I'll be staying at least until he's released.
Well, as it happens, I could use a good freelancer, Mr. Trent. I'll be in the equipment room later. You can meet me there. Oh. And if we are going to work together, call me Juny.
Hey, Freelancer. So, what can I get for you?
I'm not really thirsty, thanks. Got anything else?
Never seen you here before. You new?
Yeah.
Well, I could pass along a rumor I've heard. Interested?
All right. Give me the details.
Okay, here's what's going on.
Yes, the Order are made out to be one of the villains in this, but we'll see how they go as the story progresses. It's one of those interesting things where there are, said, a lot of twists and turns in the story, and you'll notice the...
Interesting. Thanks.
Be seeing you. Good luck.
I'll avoid talking about other characters. If you want to notice, the bartender has mysteriously changed already. Here's the job board, but there's not functioning pirates of our ship because we don't have a ship right now. So I need to go to the equipment dealer, I believe.
Hello?
I'm pleased to see you. Are you ready to work for the LSF, Mr. Trent?
It's just Trent. And yeah, I'm here to see what you have to offer.
Well, I found this ship for you. It's very basic, and you won't have jump access yet, but it should be good enough for now. This assignment will be easy. All you have to do is babysit a convoy of food and medical supplies. You'll be hooking up with the escort CO King. I'll tell him to expect you. That is, of course, if you're interested.
Yes, well, you've got no choice. And yes, there was the sort of sinister smoking man in the background, although as I seem to recall, he's actually one of the goodies, the smoking man. Although technically that's a bit of a spoiler, but this is a 2003 game, so I think I'm entitled to spoil a few bits of the plot.
Sounds good. I'm in.
Good, better get going. I'll have your ship moved immediately. All you'll have to do is go to the landing pad and launch. King will be waiting for you near the docking ring in space, okay? I'll see you when you get back.
Thanks.
So I'm just going to jump straight into the mission. I probably won't speak too much in the mission as this is one, because the story mission there's a lot of chatter, which is quite good. In the story missions there's quite a bit of sort of character chatter. It's when you're doing sort of merc missions there's not much in the way of chatter.
You must be Trent. I'm King, the CO of this mission. I contacted the lead transport of the Convoy. They've completed pre-launch checks and are ready to go. Should be an easy run from here to Fort Bush and then on to Pittsburgh. Ready?
It's good to meet you, King. Is that a Rhineland cruiser?
That's the Donau, Admiral Schultzky's flagship. He's visiting Manhattan to attend a high-level meeting with President Jacoby. Keep your distance.
Newark Station, this is RNC Donau, requesting clearance to dock with your station. Over.
Affirmative, Donau. You are cleared for docking point 6. Liberty welcomes you and Admiral Schultzky. Donau, be advised, we're picking up unknown contacts. Advise caution.
Understood, Newark. All escorts, power up weapons.
Affirmative. Ready to engage.
Roger. Tracking incoming ships. Unidentified ships, this is Newark Station. You are entering restricted space. Alter course at once or we will open fire.
Newark, do not interfere. We're here to protect the President. Schultzky is a traitor.
Red alert. The Donau is hit. Launch all rescue and defensive units. All other fighters engage enemy ships.
All escorts, open fire.
No! Oh my God.
Damn it! They blew up the Donau! Newark, this is LSF Patrol Gamma 6. Engaging enemy!
Confirmed, Gamma 6.
The order will pay for this. Escort wing, fire as well. Trent, we can't let them get away. Engage the enemy! Newark, we need reinforcements!
Interceptors are en route. The Colorado and its escort are inbound.
I've got one on me.
So just to point out, the ship combat in this one's a little bit interesting, as you actually have to use the mouse pointer. It always felt a bit like it was slightly designed as joypad control, even though it never actually got an Xbox release.
That was the last one, Newark. Confirmed. No more enemy contacts. We read you. Radar is clear. SAR, report. Did you pick up any survivors?
Negative, Newark. We're continuing our sweep.
To all utility ships in the area, scan for survivors. All other vessels, return to normal duty, but stay alert.
Trent, there's nothing more we can do here. The transports are waiting at Fort Bush. I've uploaded a waypoint to your neural net. Just fly toward it.
Acknowledged, SAR. Return to base.
I can't believe it. How did they get this close to Manhattan without being detected? First Freeport 7, and now this. It's getting out of control. All right, we've reached the trade lane. Engaging activation sequence. Trent, you go first.
Dock.
So the main flight in this you do via trade lanes, although you can just scoot off anywhere, but trade lanes are much faster. Trade lanes are quite interesting because they're the main routes you travel between
Activation
cities.
sequence completed. Lane jump initiated. This is it, Trent. This is one of the major arteries through Manhattan space. We're only taking it as far as Fort Bush. If we kept going, we'd reach the jump gate to the Colorado system.
But what's quite cool is you can actually be attacked in the trade lane. There's often they'll get disrupted.
This is LSF Patrol Gamma 6. We're here to escort you to Pittsburgh. Over.
Roger, Gamma 6. This is the USV Brant. Pre-launch checks have been completed.
Trent, take up a position near the transport. Use the formation maneuver to link up with the convoy.
Check. This is Transport Leader. All ships are in position and we show green status. We heard the news about Schultzky. What happened?
The planetary defense grid was offline and the order managed to break through. They took out the Donau with their first missile salvo. We never had a chance to stop them. Looked like the order was determined to keep Schultzky from meeting the president. Hard to believe that this could happen. We better get going.
Let's hope for the best. Several convoys have come under attack in recent weeks. The rogue problem has gotten out of control in this area.
Don't worry, that's why we're here.
Activation sequence completed. Lane jump initiated.
Looking good so far.
Alert! Trade lane disruption detected.
Formation crossed.
Damn it! Trent, get your weapons ready. This could get rough. There! Rogues! Trent, break and attack! We've got to keep them away until the trade lane comes back up.
When actually targeting it, then what you want to do is aim for the red X that follows them around, and the actual target area, that's basically to indicate their suspected flight paths. Now, at the minute I only have lasers, but later on you get countermeasures and rockets and additional weapons, and you can mount your ships with all sorts of armaments.
Last one. We better get out of here before more of them show up.
Couldn't agree more. The trade lane is back up. Let's... Wait! Radar shows new targets. Gamma 6, we have to make a run for it.
We'll cover you. This is gonna be close, but I think we can make it without another fight. Everybody stay on course. Trent, do not engage the pirates. We have to get the convoy out of here.
I have enemy target in my sights.
Trent, I have a ship on my tail. We made it! Everybody in one piece?
Barely. That was close. Thanks for getting us here in one piece, Gamma 6. We almost didn't make it.
A situation we're soon to fix. The rogues were better equipped than we expected, but we got what we came for. Thanks for playing the bait.
Now it's your turn to reel him in, King. We're gonna unload our cargo. Remember our bargain.
I'm transferring the payment to your neural net account.
Understood. Transport leader out.
Hey, King, what's going on? You'll see soon enough. Go ahead and land on Pittsburgh. I'll meet you on the surface.
There's a range of options you can do. You can, when you're a pirate, you can scan other ships and actually basically steal their cargo, or you can provide support. So I'm just going to land on Pittsburgh and click the docking ring and yes, so we now actually get some cash and we can basically start upgrading our ship because we've now reached pilot level 1. So basically that opening stage you see there is purely a tutorial.
Your request to land is granted. Proceed to land.
You'll find Pittsburgh to be remarkably unexciting, Trent. That's the mining operation. Not much to look at. A lot of rocks, smoke, and fire. But what it lacks in class, it more than makes up for in cheap drinks. Set your ship down on one of the landing pads over there.
Nice job, Trent. Now I believe I owe you some credits.
Hey, King. Did you know it was gonna get hot out there?
We're not done yet. We're just waiting for the others.
What others?
We've suspected for some time now that the Order has had ties to organized crime and Liberty. They may even be hiding a secret base. I think we're onto something here, and I've called for backup. We could really use you out there, Trent.
All right, but this had better be worth it.
It will be. I promise you. Trent, now that you have a little scratch, I'm looking at outfitting that pile of junk you're flying. Try the equipment dealer over there. He always has good deals. I'll see you in space.
So as you can tell, each planet has a bar with the various and facilities, equipment facilities as well. And you can also buy trade and commodities. Admittedly, most planets you can only visit one location, which was always a bit amusing with this game. And just about every year, even the Dirt Worlds had some sort of bar and a few other things. So there was a little bit of repetition in that respect, I suppose, because at the time it was a very ambitious game. And indeed, I think this took quite a long time to develop. And Digital Anvil never, like I said, I'm not entirely sure how well this sold, because Digital Anvil didn't sort of ever really say this has been a massive success, especially seeing as it took a good, I think they said 3 to 4 years to develop by all accounts. So this was not quickly to develop game, and indeed this came out in 2003. They didn't release much again, and they were shut down in 2006, so they must have, if they were working on a sequel, they must have been working on it for some time. So as it's telling me to meet King in space, I'm going to meet him in space. I'll just show you what the other ship like dealers. So you got Starflyer, we can buy a Rhino freighter here. So this one's actually slightly more armoured. There are lots of different ships. You get fighters. As you go to the different worlds, you get different sort of solar systems as well. You also get different planets and the different. So there's an awful lot. You can also change view if we want. See what this equipment dealer has. So yes, you'll see I actually have 5 slots in this, and I have 2,500. So I'm going to buy a Starbeam. Buy some no, it doesn't actually. This actually has mines, doesn't it? No. No, I think the Stalker will fit. I don't have a hard point for that, so we've got drone mines, Seeker mines. That's literally all I'm going to be buying. Oh, I can technically unmount one of these guns, because these Justice guns aren't as good as the advanced Starbeam. Oh no, I won't be. I don't have enough cash. So basically what I want to do is I want to immediately upgrade the Justice guns, because you can see there the Justice MK1 is 116,600, and the advanced Starbeam is basically the same stats, except it does more damage in terms of missile class and hull damage per shot. So you really want, first thing you want to do is get your ship upgraded, because the default ship you get is not very good in the slightest. So I'll do some freelancing missions in a minute once we've done this mission with King.
There you are. 4 LSF wings from Fort Bush are searching the debris field for the rogue base. They've already taken prisoners. I'm uploading the coordinates for our search pattern. We'll rendezvous with another wing of fighters for our patrol. Hold on, there they are.
Gamma 6, Delta Patrol reports no hostile contacts.
Tell them to keep looking. One way or another, we'll find where those rogues are hiding.
Enter formation with Epsilon 1.
After the attack on our transport, the LSF has dispatched 4 wings to help us track down where these rogues are coming from. They gotta have a secret base around here, and this time, we'll find it.
Mayday, Mayday! This is prison ship XT-19. We're under attack. To all Liberty patrols, please respond!
All units, change course to intercept. I'm uploading a waypoint. This is LSF Patrol Gamma 6. We're on an intercept course and are approaching your position. Over.
Acknowledge Gamma 6. We're under attack by multiple rogue fighters. We have fires on several decks, and our defenses are failing.
Understood. Hang on. Get these guys off us! There she is. She's hurt bad. Everyone, break formation and engage.
Roger that. I've got a visual on my target. Got one on me. Have one in my sights. Taking the shot.
I have one in my sights.
I've got a target.
Okay, that was a bit weird. My weapons weren't engaged. So I do remember there being one or two slightly niggling issues with this that were present in the game that they didn't quite patch, but overall it's actually a very solid game considering its size. When we originally played this some years back, we were playing on a 1998 Windows PC.
Damn it, more pirates! Trent, defend the prison ship at all costs.
And yes, it wasn't actually quite up to the minimum specs, but it pretty much ran perfectly on it, despite the fact it was only Windows 98. It did run really well. Doing more incoming rogue fighters. Also press B whenever you kill a ship, I need to remember that, so that way you grab any loot they've dropped and then you can sell it later. And interesting, you can cut different, as I recall, different items were regarded as contraband in different systems and planets, so moving stuff around you could find you have to be very careful what you were carrying between planets. So there was a whole sort of trading mechanic where different ships would sell prices of different things, but there were certain contrabands that you tried to transport between them, you would be arrested and detained and all sorts. I suppose the only game, as they never released, supposedly so the sequel was was planned to be on 360. The only game that comes remotely close to this is probably Dark Star 1 on 360. That's a very similar game. And that's also pretty good, although they did have quite a few bugs on the 360, I have to admit.
That was the last one.
You did it! The radar is clear.
XT-19, what is your status? Over.
Fires are contained. We lost life support to several decks, but we're all right. Over.
Acknowledged. Is there any way we can assist you?
Negative. Repair crews from Pittsburgh are on the way. You came just in time.
Glad we could help. Epsilon Wing, stay here in case more rogues show up. Trent and I will continue the search on our own.
Affirmative. Good luck.
I'm uploading new coordinates. Trent, take the lead. Why are we going so slow? Trent, give more power to the engines.
So yeah, that's the thrust one. And I click on the waypoint. I will actually go to...
Go to.
The rogue base must be around here. They'd never attack something as big as a prison ship too far away from their hideout.
Mayday! This is LSF Beta 4. I'm under attack and need assistance.
This is LSF Patrol Gamma 6. We hear you, Beta 4. Where are you? Over.
Near the edge of the debris field. I have several rogue ships on my tail. Can't shake them. My shields are failing.
All right, Trent. Let's take these guys out.
always keep an eye on the enemy, and as soon as you kill them, remember to press B to tractor in anything they drop, because they will drop supplies and stuff you can sell, of course, for credits.
Beta 4, what is your status?
The ship is holding together. Barely.
Where's the rest of your wing?
Gone. We were sweeping through the debris field and ran into heavy fire inside a dense particle cloud.
That's it. You must have been close to their base. Can you show us where you were?
I'm uploading the coordinates now. My systems are fried, and I have a coolant leak. I'm headed back to Pittsburgh.
Good luck, Beta 4.
Thanks. To you as well.
Let's go. Head to the coordinates. Trent, I think this is it. I'm gonna call in for some backup. To all units, this is Gamma 6. We have a potential location of the rogue base. Converge on the following coordinates.
This is Alpha 1, acknowledged. We'll rendezvous at the coordinates. Over.
This is Delta 1, Leader. We're on the far side of Pittsburgh. Changing course to your location. Over.
Wait, I've got something. Incoming rogue fighters, get ready. That was the last of them. They're fleeing into the field.
Gamma 6, this is LSF Alpha 1. What's your status?
The rogue base must be in the cloud ahead. Trent, take the lead.
Understood.
There! The rogue base! To all units, this is Gamma 6. We've confirmed the location of the rogue base. I'm transmitting new coordinates. All units, I can make out 2 defense platforms and an armored depot. We'll need torpedoes to take it out. Over. Delta Wing is carrying torpedoes. They're on their way, Trent. We can't take out the base. Their armor is too strong, but we can soften up their defenses by taking out the platforms. Let's go. Trent, look out! More pirate ships closing in fast! I hope those reinforcements get here soon.
All systems have failed! Losing power!
Shield failed. Shield restored.
I've been acquired.
One down, one to go.
Taking the shot.
Have bogey in my sights. I've got him. He's taking damage. Second platform is down. Where are these torpedo bombers?
This is LSF Delta 1. We're making our torpedo run at the station. Over.
Good to see you guys. Let's finish them off. I've got an enemy on my tail. I'm burning. I've got one trying to get a lock on me. That was the last of them.
Torpedoes away.
Great shot, Delta Leader.
Our pleasure, Gamma 6. We couldn't have done it without you.
And there goes the rogue base.
That was the last of them.
Gamma 6, we've got it from here. All units, secure the area.
Good work, Trent. Let's get clear. I'm uploading coordinates for Pittsburgh to your neural net. Let's go.
Go to.
Great work back there, Trent. Not bad for a rookie. Something tells me I'm gonna be seeing a lot more of you in the future. What we did here today will hopefully put a dent in the growing crime problem we've been having in this system. Maybe now, we can focus our full attention on the Order, and anyone who supports them. Schultzky's assassination can't go unpunished. Trent, Juny just sent me a message on the secure channel. Change of plans. I need to divert. Look, if you land on Pittsburgh, talk to one of the deep space reps. They'll have something lined up for you. Meanwhile, I'm transferring your payment now. Thanks for your help. See you around.
Trent, this is Juny. Good job. King just told me how impressed he was with you. Hope this wasn't too much for your first assignment. I wanted to meet up with you, but the attack on Schultzky has everyone rattled. President Jacoby's ordered a full investigation to determine what can be done about the Order. It'll likely mean more work for us soon. Meanwhile, why don't you spread your wings a bit? Familiarize yourself with the New York system. Maybe see what work you can pick up. I'll be in touch. Juny out.
So yeah, this is the whole point where the game starts saying now you need to concentrate on the rep. So basically, in order for me to get the next story mission, I have to actually improve my rep and do enough missions. I think you have to actually get to maybe pilot level 3 or something. But basically there are a number of points in the game where you literally just had to do missions around the galaxy until you actually got some jobs. So that's the other thing, is you will occasionally see rogues just coming in and around and attacking, and you can just help out. Kill them and then steal their loot if they've got any. I didn't have any more. But it's quite fun because you'll actually go into trade lanes occasionally, and you will, as you saw there in the opening mission, occasionally get the trade lane just randomly intercepted. So you do have to stay on your toes a bit with this one.
Acknowledged. Stand by. Pattern is full. You will be cleared to proceed when it's free.
Pittsburgh. I need to land.
Acknowledged. Your request to land is granted. Proceed to land. Freelancer Alpha 1-1. You are now cleared to land. Roger that. Stand by. Pattern is full. You will be cleared to proceed when it's free. 4. Visit Planet Pittsburgh. Docking ring cleared. Good luck out there.
Affirmative.
Freelancer Alpha 1-1. You are now cleared to land.
So yeah, quite funnily, when there are other ships in the way, you have to wait your turn, which is actually quite fun. To give you a sort of sense of a hustle and bustle in the universe. Now, Freelancer is a very different game to Starlancer. Starlancer, as we've got a video, you can also go to our video on our channel. Show is a much more structured game with very restricted levels that basically had multiple mission objectives, and you'd get bonus points for doing hidden objectives. This one's much more, you can explore and do what you want. So the first thing you want to do when you get back to any base is click on the repair icon and pay to repair your ship, because of course you don't want loads of damage on your ship.
Repair complete.
And then next up, you want to be a commodity trader. You can trade commodities. And the thing with commodity trading, I'm just going to show you that you get an idea. So this is what I can sell here from the items to the scrap. And the red icon tells me I'm not going to get a very good price for it. Fairly self-explanatory. It basically tells me, so this rate is a bad sell price on this base. So basically it tells me if I sell scrap metal here, I'm not going to get a good price. Likewise, it's telling me if I buy Boltron, this rate's actually a good rate, so that's quite a cheap rate. But at £120 or dollars or credits, I don't fancy buying that. What I'm actually going to do is upgrade my ship, which is probably the really first thing you need to do, is get some better weapons, because the default weapons are just not up to snuff. So yep, I want to upgrade the other two guns to star beams. So I'm going to unequip the star beam. So basically you have to deholster the weapons, and then I'm going to buy 2 star beams. Buy, and buy another one. Then it automatically mounts them for me, and I'm going to sell these ones. Just sell and sell. So I used a couple of seeker mines as well, as you may have seen there in the mission. And I'm just going to buy a countermeasure as well. And you click on these icons to change, so he sells ammunition. So I used one seeker mine, so I'll buy. I don't actually want to buy one.
Loaded into cargo hold.
So nanobots are what heals you. Shield batteries recharge you. Your shield if you get into trouble. And I'm actually going to sell the old shield. How much we cash? I've got one thing. Okay, I'm going to have to sell the old shield. So you'll see that this one is Fighter Shield Class 1, shield capacity 600, regen 13, regain power 10. I can actually buy the Advanced Sentry one, which is Fighter Shield Class, basically your level. So, and that's to me it's 821 capacity and regen rate, so it's a much better one. So I'm going to sell this and buy this. So that means I've upgraded the 3 primary weapons on the ship. And I've upgraded the shield generator as well to make any more missions and jobs I do just a teeny bit easier. Different ships can have different weapons. You do get turrets, and I think there was some weaponry that may have been restricted to certain classes of ships as well, although it's been such a long time since I actually did the full playthrough on this. So you can basically chat to various people here, much like the thing. Depending on your faction rank does depend whether people will actually talk to you. So if you're with a faction that doesn't like you, they will basically walk up to a person, you'll talk to them and they'll tell you to go away. And if you talk to a faction they'll give you information, tips, or they may even give you a mission. Let's go to the deep space mining guy.
Are you looking for something?
What do you have for me?
You're a stranger here, right?
Yep.
I see. I work for Deep Space Engineering. This is our base. Well, if you must know, I have heard a rumor.
All right, I'm listening.
Fine. This is what I heard.
Good to know. Thanks.
That's great. Good luck.
So although they say they're rumours, really quite often they're just bits of tidbits on what's going around. So.
Hey, what's up? Something to drink? Got stuff that'll put you out.
I'm not thirsty, but clue me into what's going on here.
First time here, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you want the inside scoop, I'm the man you want. You are...
Mr. Trent.
Yeah, I could tell you some things. Maybe spread the word a bit. Into it?
Go ahead.
Okay, here's what's going on.
So yeah, generally they give you sort of tidbit stories on what's going around, which is a bit interesting, but it's not really the tidbit information you're expecting. You can also actually view news.
All the news that's fit for you. This is the Colony News Service.
So you can see there we've got Trotsky killed in Manhattan. And sometimes even you will make the news. They relate to your stuff. And there the local crime ring smashed. Which is us. So I'm going to chat to this guy. I believe he's got a mission for me.
So tell me, what may I do for you?
Any action going on?
It's your first time here, isn't it?
Sure.
Well, it all depends. I could have a match here for you, Mr.
I'm Trent.
I see. I work for the Liberty Police. We may not own this place, but we do have a sizable stake in its operation. You know, I am looking for someone to do a job.
Rough odds?
Don't worry about it. You'll be just fine.
Bring it on.
That's great. Good luck.
So yes, you will get that feeling that a lot of the early missions are basically fly to point A and B and kill enemies. Now, some people may not enjoy shooting down enemy starships as much as I do. I always enjoyed it, so it doesn't faze me. But some people may find that the gameplay can be a touch repetitive with the mission content.
Freelancer Alpha 1-1. This is Planet Pittsburgh. Planetary docking cleared. Good luck out there.
9-9 to Planet Pittsburgh. I need to land.
Enemy ships will be at the mission waypoint. See the nav map for further details.
Dock.
So nav map points the way, so you can see they've got to go to the take the trade route and then fly off from Fort Bush. I think once I've flown off to Fort Bush, I will then probably revisit Liberty City and sell some of the stuff I've got to show some of the sort of trading mechanics a little bit. So there's the mission waypoint, and when you don't have trade lanes, that is Fort Bush, and I can actually dock with Fort Bush. But I'm going to have to fly over to the mission waypoint. Now I do recall the ending may have had a slight sort of to be continued factor, so maybe I think it was something like you resolved the issue that you dealt with in the main game, and then they sort of imply there might be something else and they're going to have to investigate at some point in the future, but sadly we never got sequel. This is one of those games I think Microsoft perhaps shut down Digital Anvil during that period where they were sort of shutting down companies and not making good quality games, and it's a shame because I think had they done a sequel to this, Microsoft could now openly sort of, well, basically saying, well, if you want to play Star Citizen, why don't you play some of the older games Digital Anvil made and even just re-release this. This is one game that I think if they re-released it now, people are like, yeah, it's a really great game. Because Freelancer was not perhaps, it was released in a period when I think the PC market was beginning to flag a bit. I mean, it is still a retail game, so you can't get a digital only version, and these days it has sort of faded a bit into memory despite the fact of being a very impressive game.
When I'm done with you, there won't be anything left to ID. Hostile ships in range.
And I think visually it's still held up fairly well as well. It's not one of those early 3D games that's dated very badly. I think you could in theory take this and just tart up the visual textures a bit and then it would look a bit better if you knew lighting effects, and I think a lot of people would be very happy just to play it with those sort of minor changes. I mean, something like this would be ideal as a sort of cheap download game on the Xbox One. Plus it did have multiplayer and you could all play together as well in a sort of multiplayer version, because basically there was like online servers and you could all play together in various and meet other players, which was quite nice as well. So you did have that sort of open world environment. I didn't play the multiplayer that much when it was originally out, but what little I did play was enjoyable enough, and it was quite nice to be able to play the sort of story missions with other players if you didn't fancy slogging through the story on your own. Although this might well be one game, I'm not entirely sure whether Microsoft still has the code for it, seeing as Digital Anvil got shut down in 2006. But visually, as I said, it's not dated too badly. It's not one of these early sort of 3D games. I mean, the graphics have dated. I mean, they certainly don't look as good as modern games, but they hold up well enough. It's not like sort of PS1 games and Sega Saturn games that are dated incredibly with their visual look, because this is sort of early 2000s. They started reasonable quality of graphics in 3D by then. Nearly got this guy. Come on, come on. He's down. Give me your loot. Give me your loot. I always feel like singing "Loot, glorious loot." Because ultimately, that is what a lot of games are about. Kill stuff, steal their loot, and then flog it. And this is kind of a space sort of lifting. But I think for me, what really I enjoyed about this Freelancer was the superb story.
Mission Commission signing off.
So now I'm going to head to Fort Bush quickly. Let's see if I can get a non-shoot the enemies mission. I mean, this one game that's quite helpful, the fact I do have the manual in front of me because it's got all the quick keys and you've got a whole variety. I mean, I think it uses 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. No, that's actually 12. It's using like probably about nearly 30 keys on the keyboard. I mean, that's a proper PC game. Admittedly, those games are a little bit hard to translate when it comes to consoles, but it was always nice to have all the options, all the quick keys for all the different menus. Admittedly, a lot of the keys are just quick keys and nothing you're just bringing up these menus quicker. So the navigation, mission log, and I don't want to crash into the starbase, I want to dock with it.
Acknowledged. Your request to dock is granted. Proceed to dock 2. Fort Bush, you have entered our radar.
So this is a big game. There were an awful lot of planets, and I'm a bit nervous about that. Oh no, that was the top end. I was a little bit nervous in case my ship was about to crash into the top of the base, but there is an awful lot of galaxies and worlds. In fact, I think there are a few. I remember there's 2 like really niftily hidden secret galaxies as well, but there was just a massive variety of ships, planets, and just about everything. So again, first thing you do whenever you do a mission is pay to get your stuff repaired.
Repair complete.
And that was a turret. I wonder if I picked up a turret I was repairing. So again, we've got all the latest news as well. Again, news the same as before.
All the news that's fit for you. This is the Colony News Service.
I think the news does change per planet and location as well. Do I get any good prices for selling any of the gear I've got here? We've got no. So yellow, as you can see there, so the cobalt, basically red means it's expensive to buy and they don't give you much. Green means it's cheap to buy. Yellow means it's sort of intermediate, and depending where you go, I mean, I seem to remember if you jump from one side of the galaxy to the other side, or the different sectors, you could make an absolute killing if you wanted to, but that required awful lot of travelling around. Now I might just be tempted, I know they're all bad prices, I might try Liberty City if that's not good. Usually the prices are sort of standard per the system, so I'm probably not going to be able to really make that much money in this system at all, so I might just sell the lot just to clear up some space. I don't think this guy sells better weapons. Like 2,000. Oh, already we've got a better gun. That's the Justice Mark II. The Justice Mark II is actually basically the Starbreeze. Oh no, it has a higher energy use. Looking for a better thruster because you can upgrade. Can't upgrade Javelin. Well, I have got some Javelin missiles. Does this have a better thruster? No, same thruster, and I think most of the shield units I can't equip. Yeah, I don't have a particular port needed to mount that. Sometimes you need to. One of the slight bugbears to have is that if someone wants to sell you items, even if you can equip it, but you just need to make sure the port's through. Just because you can get a nice easy job, so more. Ooh, just more assassination missions. I'm going to head to New Pittsburgh then, or New Manhattan, I should say, not New Pittsburgh. See what I can get in New Manhattan.
Freelancer Alpha 1-1. This is Fort Bush. Everything's a go for launch. Good flying.
This is Liberty Police. Say to 12 to Freelancer Alpha 1-1. I'm commencing a scan on your cargo bay for contraband. Well, you're clear. I didn't find anything.
So yes, as you see there, you do get scanned, and it's the risk you run. And I think traditionally you can try and sort of outrun the scanners, and then they go after you when that does happen. But it's one of those very mindful things that you can be a smuggler, and I think it's like 9 times out of 10 they won't scan your ship, but every once in a while you will get scanned, and that's when the fun begins. So you do run that risk. I can't remember if you could jettison cargo as well.
Dock.
Roger that. Stand by. Pattern is full. You will be cleared to proceed when it's free.
Now, as mentioned earlier, this does look really nice in widescreen, and I am being a bit cheeky by using a widescreen mod, but basically I think this is the type of game that works perfectly with widescreen. So usually I'm not overly necessarily keen on using widescreen mods because sometimes they can't be very good, but all this one's literally doing is opening up the field of view, and I think it works very well. It also actually the cutscenes were actually weirdly in a sort of mini widescreen window, so that's brought them up. It's quite a nice little mod. It didn't require too much to install, and I'll include a link. I got it from the PC Game Wiki, which I'll include a link to in the description down below. So yeah, you do get a lot of characters that look slightly similar
May
in
I
this.
help you with something?
Hey, what you got?
I don't know you. You new here?
Yeah, that's right.
Ah, well, I work for the Liberty Navy. We may not own this place, but we have a sizable stake in its operation. Well, if you must know, I have heard a rumor.
Yeah? What's up?
Okay, here's what's going on.
Could be useful later. Thank you.
That's great. You won't regret it.
What's up? Can I help you with something?
Any action going on?
I don't know you. First time here?
Uh-huh.
Oh, well, I work for the Liberty Police. We run this place. Well, just between us, I have heard a rumor.
Go ahead.
Fine. Here's what I heard.
Now, although these sort of voice-acted scenes are not particularly good, the main cast and the main dialogue I felt was actually quite good. Had some quite major actors in it as well, as George Takei of Star Trek fame, and also John Rhys Davis, who was in Sliders, Lord of the Rings as Grimly, and the Indiana Jones films. Is a very experienced actor, so there's quite a good cast there, and some very good voice actors such as Jennifer Hale. It's quite a good main story. It's just it's weird that you get the main story dialogues were very good, and then you get these slightly...
Thanks for the heads up. Never know.
Very repetitious scenes where you're talking to the
regret
NPCs. Let's see what job was I got in this mission. So I got a lot more missions in this, although it's pretty much Liberty Police, shoot everything down. Certainly as you do better as you increase your rep with one fraction, it increases with the other. So I'll just bring up the fraction menu. I believe it's this one. Yeah. So you see Liberty Rose, I'm nearly an enemy with. Most of them I'm fairly neutral with, but I am friendly because of whom I've been working with. Liberty Navy, Liberty Police, Liberty Security Force. So just before I do, I'm going to do. I'll do another mission from here, but I will. Just sell some stuff to begin. So it's commodity. Skip that menu. We've got the commodity broker. I'm just going to sell all the stuff. Sell. Oh, his price is slightly better than something else. It was 120. Does depend on the planet. But right now I'm more interested in just getting the base cash to upgrade my ship and get it repaired. And actually get a better ship. You can see here the main planet's generally many more guns available. So I've got the Justice Mark III, which does an awful lot more damage, but the downside with the Justice Mark III is that actually drains a lot more energy. But the damage, you know what, maybe not, they're quite expensive at the minute. I need to save the cash. Let's see what ships are available, although I think at this point in the game there really aren't many ships to choose from. Also he's got the Patriot. Yeah, so the Patriot's actually overall a better ship than it's got more gun mounts, it's got better armour, it's got better cargo space, batteries, so basically that's probably... Again, yeah, that's the upgraded version of my current ship, which is better, but a little bit out of my price range at present. I wish I actually had a few more different mission types, but the game's, I mean, it is a bit random what mission types you get, so as this is basically a procedurally generated game, As you can see there, we've got different amounts of cash per each one, so I'm going to go for the most one that gives me the most cash. And just go out there and shoot some baddies. So basically this was the brainchild of Chris Roberts. I'm not entirely sure he was actually there at the end because he's not credited in the...
Enemy ships will be at the mission waypoint. Refer to the nav map.
He's not actually credited in the manual as like an actual position. He's credited as the sort of game concept idea, and he's given a special thanks. And I think when I was looking at roughly, I think he may have left during the development or just after the development of Freelancer. I suspect just before, based on what the timeline I was seeing, but I'm not entirely sure. Chris Roberts, as you know, is currently he was responsible for Wing Commander and is currently working on Star Citizen, which I don't really want to talk about. Let's just say the project doesn't look particularly good. They're taking an awful long time to produce a game that's effectively this with better graphics. I think they wanted a bit more detail on Star Citizen, but I think there's some element it may have been perhaps gone over budget and perhaps not been as optimised in terms of how they've been building it. It's become a bit of a derided game, certainly among developers. I mean, they may produce an end result at the end when we see Star Citizen. It could be the best space shooter since sliced bread, but it does seem a long way off before it's ever going to be finished. Which is a shame, as Chris Roberts did do some good games in the past. And this is certainly one of them. So if you're looking at this thinking, I really liking the look of this, where can I pick it up from? Well, I'm afraid your only option at the minute is the second-hand market. I mean, it's fairly cheap to pick up, but it's one of those games you will now have to tweak around with to get to run on modern machines as well, as sadly it doesn't run as said from the outset. I mean, it installed initially on mine, but once I patched it, that's when I had some slight issues with. My health. I have got nanobots that can repair and I have got shields as a shield booster that will restore the shield instantly. Generally in firefights, once you're down to about 2 ships you're alright. So when you've got 3, 4 more, then you need to start using supplies to sort of take down the enemy fairly quickly. Because if multiple enemies target you, they will take down your health and shields very quickly. And this is the one with... Actually not the other guy because he's near death. So you can use an afterburner boost with... What's that? Yep, he's down. But you've got your standard fight speed, afterburner speed, which is a tab that gives you a sort of temporary accelerant boost, and then you have the go-to, which puts you into warp, and then you have the trade lanes, which allow you to travel to locations very faster. But a lot of areas do not have trade lanes. Nope, we've got more bandits coming in. Although at this stage in the game, they're relatively easy once you upgrade the ship. If you just take the default ship out, you will struggle a little bit. I'm someone who prefers lasers to sort of, I mean, you can get rockets, but rockets use up a lot of cash very quickly, so initially it's worth saving your cash to get better ships. Once you start getting more better ships and the jobs start giving you a lot more money, it's quite easy to afford buying lots of rockets. And later on you do have capital ship battles where you fight bigger, much bigger capital ships. At the minute we're literally just like the Rhineland that you saw got blown up, they're all there, the bigger ships. It's just at present we're not fighting any because of course we've only just started out. Right, I've gotten this run.
Good job, but you're not done yet. There are more hostiles at the next waypoint.
So we've got another waypoint to travel to, hence one of the reasons why I wanted to commentate a bit, because I knew there'd be a lot of toing and throwing. So I think this is going to be the last mission I'm going to do, and then I'm going to sign off. But I really want to show you this because it is just a phenomenal game that I think needs a lot more love. And I said, you see this widescreen patch that I got from, I said, the PC Gaming Wiki. It works really nicely and it just looks lovely. I think originally it was 12 something in widescreen, 12, 7, 20 or no, can't quite remember the exact resolution, but basically it's got quite high stats, but it just doesn't do widescreen by default, even though I think they should have really included widescreen. You can see it just looks absolutely lovely. So usually I'm not a big keen fan of necessarily adding widescreen into games if they weren't designed to use it, but this is one game where it doesn't negatively impact the game in any way, it just makes it look a bit nicer. So this is one game that would definitely worth adding a widescreen patch to. Two ships shooting, is that friendly or is that another different rogue attacking? Oh, the rogue's fighting it out. I've got a police patrol unit here. You can hail ships and chat to them. I think some of them may even, I can't remember if some would give you missions as you were just flying around. Perhaps not. I think most of the missions came from the base. There's a few other games you can literally hail ships and they'll ask for your help. I think Darkstar 1 may have done that. Again, if you have a 360 and want to play something like this, then I do recommend Darkstar 1 as a good console alternative to Freelancer, because at present there is no console version of Freelancer and no currently version digitally available. So if you are going to buy on Windows 10, be prepared. You're going to need to get the original disc off the site second-hand off Amazon, and be prepared to have to mod the game to get it to run, because the Sekirom DRM is now out of date and doesn't work with newer systems. And
you did it. The area is clear. Well done. Mission Commission signing off.
Trent, this is Juny. I have a new assignment for you if you're interested. Meet me on Manhattan. King and I will be waiting for you in the bar.
Oh yeah, so you see there I got to pilot level 3, and that's what triggers the next trigger to, hey, do the next story mission if you want. So I'm not actually going to go to Manhattan.
Go to.
No. I think I'm going to finish off. I'm going to head to this military base, which is closer, and that's where I'm going to wrap it up for this video. Let me know if you like this, and I might consider doing a bit more. It is a very, very good game. It's also a very big one, as I recall.
Dock denied. Destination is too far. Go
Closer. Well, I hope you enjoyed this look at Freelancer. I do highly recommend it. Have you got a PC, and if you don't mind fiddling around with it to get it to run, it's a very, very good game.
Your request to dock is granted. Proceed to dock 1.
So I've been your host, Random Gamer Riven. I hope you enjoyed this sort of commentated look at Freelancer from Digital Anvil and published by Microsoft. And as always, if you like our content, please do hit that like button. And as always, subscribe to the channel if you like our content for more content like this. This has been our look at Freelancer, and I will finish for now.